Hi everybody, Michelle here. So I'm coming to you from a little bit different room today, a little different view behind me, huh? Today I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about my past and why I do believe that I have fibro, and I think that it affects people differently. And again, I have said that I'm no expert, I'm not a doctor, but I've done a lot of research, and there seems to be a huge correlation between people affected with fibromyalgia and people that have had things happen, traumatic experiences in their lives. And I've suffered a tremendous amount of trauma in my young life. So I did want to say that I am feeling much, much better since I started doing the dairy-free and peanut-free diet, and sticking to that has been a huge boon just on the inside of my body. I'm still in a lot of pain on a daily basis. The normal things that people take for granted, I can't do them with ease, but I feel much better gastrically, I guess is the best way to say it. I'm not in pain at all times with my tummy feeling like I'm going to be sick. So that's pretty awesome, and I'm pretty happy about that. So anyway, the things that I kind of wanted to talk about, and just so you know, I'm not trying to complain and say woe is me. I feel like I'm a survivor. I have been through so much in my life. People tend to think that it's not true, but it is true. I swear everything that I'm saying is very, very true. It's valid. These are my things. These are my feelings. These are things that have happened to me. I own these, but they are the reason I believe that I have fibromyalgia, because I believe, after all the research that I've done, that people who experience these traumas in their lives, something just unhinges, like electronically, and we feel intense pain and things don't register correctly. So I spent a great deal of my childhood being abused. From a very, very young age, I was sexually abused. And one of the people, there's many, that abused me as a young girl, was sentenced. I think he went to jail. I just remember as a young girl walking by a poster in my elementary school. I was in 3rd grade, Miss Canada's class, and I remember walking by this poster, and it said, if someone's touching you and you don't like it, tell someone. It was like this little light bulb went on. It's like, oh, I don't like it. So I went to the principal's office, and that day my life changed. My mother came to pick me up from school. They wouldn't let her come in. I was taken from her care because she was an unfit mother, not taking care of me. This was happening under her nose, I guess. And I was placed in a receiving home. And then I was placed in emergency care, with my relatives. And I do believe that was a huge, huge help for me in my lifestyle. I was given the opportunity to see that the dysfunction that I had lived in as a child was not the only way to live. And I think that that's a great thing that I got to experience. So I'm not like most of the people from my family. I tend to be a much healthier person, and that's good. I think that's really important. Now, a lot of the things that happened to me, I don't remember, and that's really common with some pretty severe trauma in childhood. It's blocked out, and I'm really actually so glad it's blocked out. I don't even want to know. At this point in time, I don't think that I could handle that on top of all the other things that I've gone through. So that abuse continued up through high school, and I'm not. That abuse continued. There were family members that abused me, and some non-family members that abused me. I was raped as a young girl. And I have even gone to the authorities multiple times and tried to get help as a young girl, at which point I was turned away and told that there was nothing anyone could do to help me. I was also told by one King County courthouse employee that rape is not a moral issue, which is amazing to me, that man said that to me. I did actually have a witness in the room with me when that was said, and it still floors me that that was said. So, endured a lot of abuse, physical, mental, and sexual abuse. Those are all things that we have to deal with as we go through life. I don't believe that it has made me any less of a person. I am a really good person. I love people. It hasn't made me want to kill people. It hasn't made me want to hurt children. I'm just who I am. It's just part of my past. It makes me upset sometimes. I have a hard time seeing children hurt in movies and things like that. I don't like to see it. That makes me feel bad, but it's just part of who I am. Okay, so after that childhood trauma, I also chose to marry my first husband, who was a very, very abusive person. He was not a good person. People tried to warn me prior to marrying the man, but I was in lust. I did not love him. I was absolutely in lust, and I married the man. Now, I should have found a way to get away from him before we got married. I was pregnant. I tried to get away, and he held me up against the wall by my throat, strangling me, saying that I was his property and I belonged to him, and that was it, and then threw me down. He did a lot of things that were very abusive during our marriage, choked me in front of our children, hit our children until they were bruised. I tried so many things. I did not know how to get away. I had no money. I had no control. Being in that kind of situation is extremely scary. One day, a coworker said, "You deserve better and you need to find a way to get out." And that's what turned it around for me. I found a way to get out. Then I met my amazing husband, the one that I love with every fiber of my being, my soulmate. And we found each other across a room. It was amazing. I honestly do believe that there is a soulmate out there for each person, and that the universe does lead you to them, because that's what happened to us. And since we've been together, we have been through some really, really amazing, horrible experiences. We were able to get my children away from my ex-husband, who was abusing them severely, only to have him come and take them far, far away, repeatedly moving. And I could get no help from the authorities to find them. So I had to basically let go of my kids until they were of age, and I was able to find them again. And then one of my children, I actually was accused of hurting one of my children sexually, and I fought going to prison for 2 years. We spent all of our savings. We mortgaged our house. And in the state of Washington, there is nothing that you can do to protect yourself from that. If someone says that you did something like that, your life is over. So you have no recourse whatsoever. I had no recourse. And of course, every single time someone looked at my history, they said that I was going to be an abuser because I was abused. I am the last person who would ever touch a child. But that's what you get to live with. You're kind of, it's a stigma that sits on your head. Anyway, enough of that one. So, and then my husband and I, we lost our home, a home that we lived in for 15 years. We got scammed by a fake mortgage company in Chicago. We paid them a lot of money, and they told us not to make payments to Bank of America, but only to make payments to them, which we did. They took all of our money and we lost our home. So in the past 10 years, we've had the kids being taken, the abuse scandal, and I'm just going to call it the scandal, where I was accused of touching my child inappropriately and had to fight staying out of prison. And we lost our home. And then within a couple of years after losing our home, my husband deployed to Afghanistan and or Iraq, the desert, his favorite place in the world, he called it. And the day he deployed, we found my brother's body. Excuse me, he had taken his own life. And right after that, my granddaughter was killed. So there has been a lot of trauma just within the past 20 years. I'm going to say just 20 years. I started developing symptoms of fibromyalgia in about 2012, I'm going to say, right around the height of when all this stuff was happening. And I believe that my body just kind of got to the point where it said, I can't take anymore. And I need to shut down. And you're going to feel all this intense pain from all this crap that has happened to you. And that's really what I believe. I believe there is a point where these people who are going through this we are at our limit. We are a glass that is full of water. And if you put one more drop of water in that glass, it's going to overflow. And that's what our bodies are doing. We can't take any more pain. Our bodies are overflowing. So, I do believe that is why a lot of people get fibromyalgia, why we suffer with the severe pain and the weakness. And I think that it is, kind of our brains taking over and dealing with this trauma. And it's not in a good way, mind you, but it's the way that our bodies are choosing to do it. So that's kind of my theory on fibromyalgia. And now you know a little bit about me. And honestly, I would love to know, tell me, if you have fibro, is there something that you think could have triggered yours? Is there something that you believe happened in your past that created this struggle for you? What is it that you've gone through? Is there anything that you've gone through? Is it something that you possibly don't, recall until you actually see this? I am hoping that these videos will actually help somebody and give somebody some kind of light, that a light goes on, and that perhaps, maybe it'll do nothing. Maybe you just need to hear somebody else's story, and that's okay too. I don't mind. I just, I'm hoping that I help someone. I know that it was really helpful for me, like I said, when I found other people out there that were sharing and going through exactly the same thing that I was. It's good not to be alone. It's good to have a community. And I don't want to be in a community of bitching people. That's not what I want. I don't want to be in a community of, oh my God, woe is me. I'm a survivor. I have had so much happen to me, and I'm still up on my feet. I'm not laying down in a ditch. I'm not drinking from a bottle every day. I am standing up doing something with my life, and anybody can. Anybody can. All right, that's my fibro talk for today, and I hope that someone will benefit from it. And I will see you guys tomorrow. All right, love and light. Blessings.